right, it's Friday here on Liquid Lunch, and Ivy went out and got some
wine,
special liquid, and we've got Lowell Lo joining us here.
California's best.
I do.
And it's always good to have Lowell on the show. And Lowell is an architect, as we can see from the picture here. He looks like Moshe Safdie, standing in front of Habitat 67. And we're talking. I know you're a real proponent of permaculture and food security and urban agriculture. So we're going to be diving into that a little bit, Lowell?
Yeah, sure. I believe in climate change, and as an urban dweller, it's growing your own food, and there's so many suburban backyards. It's turn them into mini farms, and as a movement, I'm trying to start a co-op, a summer
Absolutely.
co-op. Yeah.
A summer co-op?
Yeah, like to install rain barrels in backyards and build something called a sub-irrigated planter bed, so that you carry the water to the beds to grow food, and it's sub-irrigation, so you water the plants from below. Yeah.
Now, sometimes I have to say, as I'm usually stuck downtown, but if I get a chance to get up and travel the 407 or travel the periphery of the GTA, which seems to be expanding to encompass all of southern Ontario.
Yeah, pretty much.
Urban sprawl.
It's kind of depressing to me to see, that was a field 10 years ago, and now it's a subdivision or whatever. And I'm trying to look at the bright side of that. And
I feel the same coming from growing up in Oakville. It's now touching the borders of Milton, Burlington, everywhere.
It's
You're
all
absolutely
becoming
right.
one big, giant megacity.
The fields are completely gone.
But trying to see what the advantage of it is that we have all these homes. They do have backyards.
Yeah.
And they do have
And
services, including water.
And backyard hens are becoming, I think they're legal now in Vancouver.
Now, don't tell that. The vegans don't like the backyard chicken farming.
Right.
But
it's organic.
Just leave that for now.
Okay.
But, so there is an opportunity for us, even with this urban sprawl, to become,
eco-friendly.
food security and have people...
Yeah, that could be the one positive aspect to the urban sprawl.
Well, the world is running out of water, so this taps into... Now, are you getting sub-irrigation from bottom, or are you collecting rainwater?
Well, water, it's like, I follow have you guys heard of this documentary called Years of Living Dangerously from James Cameron, the director, Canadian director?
He loves, his next movie's all done underwater.
That documentary, I was saying, was 2 seasons on Showtime, but I get feeds from them and on Facebook, and they turn it into 5-minute segments, but all the superstars, superweight Hollywood stars like Arnold, Harrison Ford, Matt Damon, female, and Don Cheadle, Iron Man. Yeah, he goes to NASA and talks to the scientists, and the scientist is freaking out. That they think the drought in California and in Texas. They're going to run out of water in 20, 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay,
it's
so
just
that's
because of climate change.
Now, that applies to those guys.
But I went to, I follow, the building science community in Ontario, and and the green... the
Fire
green,
warnings and things?
Well, no, the green green architects and the green scientists, the conference, the presenter in one of the conference on climate change related topic, they think there's going to be mass migration
to Canada.
Yeah,
it's huge. We're one of the luckiest countries in the world.
Yeah.
We have the largest resource of natural water, but that's going to affect us because they're estimating that the price of water is going to increase exponentially. We're already, if I understand correctly, as of 5 years ago, been exporting water to the States.
Well, they have a plan to dam James Bay.
And essentially, once the Great Lakes run dry, we're one of the luckiest places in the world, but once that runs dry, there's something else left because the rest of the world is really struggling.
Somebody needs to invent instant water.
Well, the Navy makes water. Well, they know how to desalinize water.
But that might be expensive to do.
So Lowell,
Israel is doing a lot of that, I think.
Right. and of course Saudi Arabia too.
Oh,
right?
really? Okay.
But we're
But,
focusing on the GTA exclusively.
Well, yeah. So why the rain barrel initiative here in Toronto?
Why?
Good question.
It was just something that there's in Ontario there's a group that sells rain barrels. They sell all the kits, all the parts, and I think based in Hamilton, they sell thousands of these things, and like the gray barrels. Thanks. And
Are we looking at
Chris,
these now?
yeah.
So,
I have
we
actually
have a
seen
picture
those
of
in
it.
people's backyards and
Yeah.
didn't know what they were for. So
yeah.
what are they
so
for?
It's
let us
connected
know.
to the downspout and the east trough of the roof, and it collects the rainwater from the roof. And they say it's like there's less chemicals, and so it's better for the plants.
Now,
and,
I did have a concern though
yeah.
that because
The
most
asphalt?
roofs are
Asphalt.
asphalt
In Toronto, at least.
shingles,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Tar and,
Oh, good
and
point.
like, is there any of that gets into the water?
They sell the rain barrels all over the place, and this group sells thousands of them in Ontario. They're connected to like the Legion groups, church groups, and then they have like fundraiser events. And so if you organize an event in like a church or a Legion Hall, then they would give you a cut, for selling the barrels, and a truckload, like 300 barrels a truckload.
Okay, now here's
Yeah.
something that we're looking at.
Yeah.
So this is
So this is something called sub-irrigation planter bed. I learned this from Joanne Dowse. She's a guru in Toronto, urban gardening. She grows food, I believe, in downtown Toronto. She's amazing.
Does she have a business or?
No, she's a prophet. Centennial or Sheridan, I can't remember. Graphic design prof, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she figured out how to. So this idea, I think, came from maybe an English person thought about watering the plants from maybe
Underneath.
like 80 years ago or something. And she's done the research. She figured out how to do it using like do-it-yourself materials. Like
Okay.
yeah, so like
Now,
plastic.
why do you need all of this
Well-
business in it? I mean, I'm really
No.
ignorant in this
Yeah.
area, truly. Like, seriously, I don't know what's going on.
The idea
And,
is to
and
yeah.
why, so the bucket collects water and it goes into the ground and waters the plants, and you don't need to do anything. If you own a bucket, you need to do nothing.
It's about creating water reservoir down in a planter box or
Container.
a container. Yeah, creating a water reservoir so that and you can fill it from like using plastic bottle tubes, and then the idea so that when the soil around it gets wet, the roots will find the water by itself. So instead of watering 2 or 3 times a week,
Yeah.
you fill it once a week. And
Or
then,
the rain fills it once a week.
well, no, well, that's when we
Connect it to the
connect
heat
we connect the rain barrel to the planter bed with a hose or with some kind of water carrying device.
Does this ease the workload from watering one's garden?
Yes, for sure. I think
And
so.
it's
yeah.
also economically sound.
Well, they say that it saves water. The people that use this kind of system, they say it's like 50% save more water because when you water from the top, it doesn't get to the roots.
True. It takes time. That's why you just saturate it.
And it's like you water the leaves, you water the right. So yeah. Sorry.
Well, those containers are great because I've been trying to grow potatoes in a container.
yeah,
Is it
I heard
working
you-
out?
I don't think I'm putting enough soil in quickly enough.
Potatoes need deep soil.
That's why you got to keep adding soil to it, right? But
Yeah.
if we had one of these watering systems, now what's
Oh, yeah,
what's
so
that,
this is-
Joe Lowell?
So this place sells rain barrels by thousands in Ontario,
Uh-huh.
but they don't really have a stand for it. So they have like a makeshift. So I wanted to design a stand for them, but they're saying it's too expensive.
This is your stand
you made
design?
This is my standard design. It's using 2x4s, and it's demountable into 2 pieces, and
That looks fancy, Joel.
yeah, it's
Lowell.
Lowell. Yeah, it's demountable. It raises the barrel high enough so that you can put a water can underneath it.
Oh, so you
So
can
that Now, what is a water can like a manual one
Yeah,
that someone
sure.
pick
You
up?
can, a manual one. If you don't want to, if you just want to do it,
But
the old-fashioned way.
But the other method is having tubes that run into the soil
You
or the
could
barrel
connect.
itself.
You could connect the barrel to the planter bed. Yeah, to
So
the.
that
to-
would
to-
automatically
to the
water?
reservoir.
Now, when
Your
you-
That would.
subterranean.
Yeah, you just turn on the valve, and then
Yeah.
the water will let. I'll show you later. That
Oh,
will-
yeah.
okay,
And when you
good.
say water bed, do you mean it has to be in an enclosed container, or you just mean where you have the plants?
Wait,
You'll show you. Yeah.
What's
We'll
this
skip
one?
that.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. This is.
what's this one here?
This is. I'm working with
Looks like a little greenhouse.
Dave Jones, an older senior gardener from East Scarborough, and then we're doing these things related to urban agriculture. He's the organizer to East Scarborough Community Garden Association, and this is a half. So these plastic barrels are. It's what the food industry uses to carry food or liquids, and they're food grade plastic. So we use it as barrels, and we use it as the rain barrels, and we use it as a planter bed. So we cut this in half, and we built.
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
So those
So
are
we
like probably
repurpose-
cheap and freely available.
But it's also
they-
food grade.
Yeah, this is food
And-
grade, and it's
Meaning it has no chemicals that seep out?
Yeah.
or it doesn't. The
Maybe.
plastic is safe.
No
too.
BPA.
Yeah.
No BPA. Thank
Know what
you.
I'm saying?
Okay.
Okay. What about this one, Joel?
I don't know.
Lowell?
Yeah, this is it's the same idea. That the previous one was
It has flowers.
was sitting on the ground. This one is raised, so it's like so you can it's more
But-
ergonomic.
Are those same barrels though?
Yeah,
Or is
same
that a
barrels. Yeah, you
different-
can get them in white. You can get them in blue.
Okay,
You can
someone
get 'em
painted a
on
little
colors.
bird on there.
Yeah, and so this
So-
is thank you.
so
Thank
the-
you,
That's a nice one.
So this could be
That's
a
aesthetically
planter
nice.
box, right? I mean, you can really grow a lot of food in that.
That's a
It
good
grew
point.
a little bit. I mean, it's like you can grow herbs and
Well, you
leafy
can fill
greens
that up with
maybe.
potatoes.
My beverage
Right?
is full of fresh mint.
But it's the idea that if more people do this, and then you grow a little bit of food, and then you can get 2 planter beds. You can get you can make your own on the ground, and then food can create community. I think if start sharing.
Well, it
Maybe.
always, food is community. Especially with most cultures, food brings people together, brings
Yeah.
people to the table.
Yeah.
What do you think the top 3 ideas would be? Like, why should someone get one of these?
One of these
Water-
install-
I like this one here because
Why?
it's sitting on your
Does it
stand.
save time, save
Save time,
money?
save
is
time.
it economically
Well, yeah,
sound? Is it
you-
saving the
you-
environment? What would you say
yeah,
is the
you-
top 3? Just
yeah.
pin it down for me
It's
or us.
good for the environment. You reduce. You grow your own organic food.
You get to do what you want with it. You grow your own food and have
right in your
control
backyard.
over it.
Right,
And
yeah.
it's easy.
And it's easier. And you're
And you're saving water,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't have the fluoride.
That's enough for. Yeah, and there's a problem with urban settings, like urban areas having too much concrete. So they want to go back to.
Anyone
yeah.
can do this on their rooftop, even, right? Like rooftop
Yeah,
gardens
this
are
one.
becoming a thing.
No, you've got this picture
Rooftop
here.
is- yeah.
You could put that on your roof.
This is a balcony that the homeowner he started doing this already, and we connected somehow, and then we told him about the idea of sub-irrigation, and he went all out. So he built the planter bed already. He was about to, and then he put in the tubes, the water tubes underneath.
From
That's
the rain
nice.
barrel. There's
That's
the
on
rain
a person's
barrel there.
balcony.
And that's like a very urban, typical downtown urban
Yeah,
Toronto
this is
setting,
in.
right?
But it's aesthetically nice, too.
Yeah, this one.
Because sometimes the
he was a
barrels
very
are,
good-
like, unsightly.
Yes, the barrel can be silent. Yeah, but so he painted everything black and to match. with
And what's he
yeah.
growing in there?
I'm not sure yet.
It's the height of the summer.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
a beautiful
Yeah,
summer.
He's probably growing, hopefully, potatoes.
Dave Jones helped them more with that one. And then this is the 3rd installation we've done this year. This is so it has
Those valves.
valves and the splitters and.
So that's where you
it's
can
just-
open those up, and that'll feed your
Well,
subterranean
yes,
beds, right?
yeah, Chris, if you can, if you don't mind going to the next slide, yeah, and then so this
Oh,
one
lovely.
feeds
That's
right
a good shot.
they thought of all this, and
So
this
that's
is-
actually how it goes into the
Yeah,
ground
well,
for the
these-
sub-business,
Yeah,
sub-irrigation.
it doesn't have to be in a planter. It can go right to the floor.
Now this tube, though, is collecting the water from the barrel.
From the barrel, yeah.
And
We just open
then-
up the valve, and then the water
Oh.
will come in, and then
Right.
this is a weeping tile. It's what they use in footings, like basement
Yeah.
footings to collect the water and drain it out. So it
Oh,
has
of
holes.
course.
It has
And any
holes.
place that has a swampy type environment, you would use that
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
a
to
tube.
drain the water. Yes.
This
so,
would work well for like Hughes potatoes, for example. Someone that needs deep ground, deep water,
exactly. Yep. So
because it's ideal.
yeah. So we just collect. I mean the solid the pipe would go, and this is something called a soaker hose. So it has holes in it. So it would just drip water out, and then the weeping tile will let the soil around it get wet. It has a sock around it. Yeah. So it will get moist.
Now, how
Yeah.
close does the plant need to be in proximity to the weeping tile?
I had this older Indian gardener that I met up with last
Like
year.
indigenous?
Sorry, East Indian. He put one of these things in. It was a foot below grade, he said, and he didn't even put
A foot below grade, meaning
yeah.
only went a foot deep.
a foot deep. Sorry, a
So
foot,
you don't
yeah.
even have to. So one would just need to dig a foot, put it in.
Just a small trench, yeah, and then you
Yeah?
put it in, yeah. And then
what do you say?
He says it's working out really well for him.
Look here.
Yeah, and so that's just so. This person we met again.
That's
this
pretty
in
nice.
East Scarborough. She turned her whole yard into a vegetable bed.
The plants look happy.
She built
You know what?
fence
That's
around it.
a great thing to do. I mean, it's such a rewarding thing to do.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
this.
that's the homeowner. That's Dave. And then
That's Dave
Yeah,
there?
that's Dave. And so, yeah, I don't know.
So where's the no?
So
in
we're
this
planting
picture,
everywhere.
for example, are the you
There's
see the
the
raised
barrel.
beds are the things
yeah.
underneath the raised
yeah,
beds?
the things are underneath the raised bed. So there's like 4 or 5 of them, and they're planning to grow enough fruit. So Dave wants to sell the seedlings and whatever to.
So what I'm just showing here
Look
is
how
that
they-
this is like Toronto. We have small
Yeah.
yards.
They're maximizing
This is a
their
very
space.
small yard, but typical Toronto. But you can grow a lot of food in that.
That space is being maximized.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yeah,
Of
and it's
course.
fun. And the kids,
It's actually good for kids.
Yeah.
It helps them understand
They can
because it's
play with
hands-on.
Hands-on. Yeah, it gets their and
It's good to get
playing with nature.
your hands in the soil, right?
Yeah, you just tell them they're playing when they're actually working. Sorry.
Lowell, okay.
But
so
that is actually, no, seriously, that is a concept that a lot of cultures, there's a new article that was out recently in, was it the New York, not the New Yorker, but about how other nations, I think they looked at Mexico in particular, is children love naturally helping out, and that's when you compare other cultures to Western culture, where children don't want to do chores. It's true, they love helping out, and it gives an opportunity for kids to help out and learn.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I think yeah.
In a fun way.
Yeah, she has teenage daughters, and that was part of the reason she turned it. She wants to, I don't know,
To
teach
let them
them-
get
teach them-
into it.
Yeah,
Teach
let
them
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Oh, really?
And grow their own food.
So,
yeah.
oh, there they are.
Oh,
They're
look at
playing
that.
in the sandbox.
I designed a cedar
That's a
deck.
really nice sandbox.
Yeah, with another client, the cedar deck, and she had some leftover pieces, and then me and Dave went over, and then he thought of
Now, why does
using
it
the
have-
scrap pieces, and we built the sandbox.
Why does it have
That's
the two
nice.
sections?
Yeah, this is for seating. She has 4 seats. You can have 4.
Yeah, but what's this
No,
front
but
section?
oh, the
This is-
seating is cool,
yeah.
but the two. That's
This
really
is
cool.
where the sandbox is. This is where they put the sand. I think.
Oh, so it's like a sandbox for play with seating, but then
Yeah,
it's also
yeah.
the seedlings.
You know what's good about sandboxes? You can also fill them up with water. That's what I used to do. Get the
Really?
hose, fill it up.
And then
You know what I'm
what?
saying? Pretend it's a pool.
Oh, right. I mean, it would need to be a pretty big sandbox,
Yeah,
but
that would be
still,
fun. That'd be fun.
that's in a whole other level of water irrigation.
Okay, do we need more pictures?
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
here we
thanks,
go.
Chris.
That's
Yeah.
it's
So this is.
almost a piece of art.
Yeah, it's almost a piece of art. Yeah, it is.
It
I
actually is.
think it's the rain barrel stand. So this was the third version where the 2 legs came together, and then I had to because I had to lift up I shifted the legs. It was a double leg design, and then because it's easier to put together, you don't have to do these crazy joints. It's
Now,
just
so
it's
you've
just
made
screws.
all of this.
Yeah, I made all this.
That's
yeah,
so cool.
yeah.
It's
with-
not just
with
made;
the-
it's designed.
Thank
This
you.
is designed by an
designed.
architect.
Well, we gotta just make it clear,
Oh,
'cause,
wait, yeah.
you know, I mean, I wasn't fully sure because it's so amazing.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
So you have created and built it.
Yes, we built it at the Dave's East Scarborough storage unit on the driveway. He has a
So it's
storage unit and he
domestic.
uses it as a shop.
That's what Saturdays were made for.
Cedarwood rain barrel stand.
Yeah,
Look.
you get a CD Saturday. In the background is rice paddy fields.
See, look, CD
looks-
Saturday. I told you
Yeah, CD
Saturdays.
Saturday.
So,
Yeah.
are you selling these stands as well? Well,
Yeah, well, I'm Transition Toronto. It's a green group from originated from the UK about a couple of years, like maybe 5-10 years ago. They're doing something called Tree Mobile. It's like they buy
Like mobile
trees.
trees?
They help they promote people to buy tree seedlings, I guess you call them, and then they'll get volunteers to help you plant it in your backyard
that's
Oh,
in
great.
spring, and then they'll put this up on their website.
You know what I do? Well, I take a trip, and anybody can do this. I go around patrolling in my little laneways, and I find little seedlings that are just sprouting. And
Yeah.
if I need trees, I'll just transplant them to where I need them. Right? That's what I do.
They take a long time to grow, though.
A little bit every year.
Yeah. But herbs
Yeah, herbs
and
and
plant-
leafy greens.
Yeah,
I'm
a few months.
I-
I mean, a few weeks, and then
Yeah,
within a couple
yeah.
months, you've got a full garden.
I have a north-facing balcony. I live in a small condo, and
And
I
you've been
tried-
able to do this?
I've been able to grow herbs and leafy greens on a north-facing balcony.
That is incredible.
Really?
That's
Like-
where
like lettuce?
Toronto is
lettuce.
going.
I can grow lettuce.
And what else?
Really?
Cilantro?
What
I
do you
love
call-
cilantro.
Basil and things like that.
Oh.
Those
But
just two.
you know, so much of the community in GTA lives in condos, and I don't have a green thumb. I try. It doesn't work out. Like it just doesn't.
No,
Maybe
it's,
you're-
you can
No.
you just have to
Maybe
give
the
it a
rain
try.
barrel piece would be the thing.
Just keep trying.
I have.
Sub-irrigation. Yeah, the sub.
So essentially, you've got a condo. It's north facing, and you've built a planter box like the one we saw attached to that balcony. And you have a barrel. It collects the rain, and you are successfely growing lettuce and herbs
I'm
and all
not
of that.
collecting. I'm not collecting. The condo board would not allow me to collect.
Oh,
water
okay.
on my.
Oh.
But no, you can buy these sub-irrigated planter beds already. They make them out there. So
But people can even get
You
a
can
little
make
bit of
it
food security
yourself.
on the balcony, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can
I mean-
grow stuff on the balcony. Yeah, if
And
yeah,
it's fun.
especially if
It's a great thing to do.
Of course.
I mean, whatever
Yeah.
you can do. Okay, Lowell, now you mentioned you're trying to create a co-op with this. Do you want to just
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah,
tell us
so
about that?
yeah, I want to start an initiative where the people that help out, the volunteers, would get like a token amount of money. Maybe 2 or 3 hours, or maybe minimum wage, and then they'll help to like install these things.
that would
Like,
be great.
Yeah, and then so I'm
And
trying.
that way, you would be able to meet the demand you're getting.
Yeah,
You need people to help,
yeah, I
right?
can
Install.
create community.
Yeah.
Well, I would think too that homeowners or people that have some would like to have this, right?
Of course.
Yeah,
Well, it's going to save on the water bill too. We didn't even talk about that.
it will save on the water bill, and
So
Yeah,
not only are you saving on buying vegetables, you're also saving on your daily water bill, and you're saving the planet.
and it's a good endeavor. I don't know.
No, it's a worthwhile endeavor,
It
for
is,
sure, right?
absolutely.
If anybody's concerned about global warming or climate change,
Yeah.
right, it's obviously something they can do. They can save money on their food. They can grow organic food themselves. Because we talk about food security. Some people remember what happened when the blackout happened,
Oh, right.
right?
Yes, I
Like
remember.
if that would have gone on much longer, we could have been in dire straits. So if we can start moving towards self-sufficiency in food, then
It's
that's going to
very
be a good
important.
thing.
Yeah.
And
thank
you know, one more thing I just want to say before we wrap quickly, though. The cool part, too, is that, we said the word unsightly earlier, the blue barrel or whatever, but something like that stands out. I've seen them for years. I understood that they were collecting rain, but I didn't really know, what they're using it for. Actually, I have no idea what they're using it for. And so, just think of building community, think of the neighbors, so there's a house or whatever, and the neighbors are going to start asking, or kids, if the teenagers or children are involved, at school, kids come over, oh, what's the rain barrel for? And word of mouth spreads the whole thing. It's like, oh, well, we're actually collecting water, natural irrigation, da-da-da-da. And that in itself builds the community. So sometimes when something stands out, that can be a very good thing, as opposed to blending in.
So Lowell, how can people participate?
Yeah, I'm looking for homeowners and people that will want to help out. Maybe my approach hasn't been that effective to getting people to help, so I'm trying to.
Well, that's where
reach
you're going
out.
to pay them.
Well, Lowell, you know what I'm thinking? You heard about those guys in Kelowna that were going around and they were getting. They were basically making agreements with homeowners, and they would go and they would farm their front or their backyards.
Well, where is this?
In Kelowna, BC.
BC?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then they would share either the produce or the profits with the homeowners.
Yeah.
And they were able to turn,
Really?
acres of urban
Yeah.
lawn into highly productive food.
Yeah. Well, no, the Transition Toronto was trying to start that last year, but
Yeah.
but something happened and they it stalled.
See, it's up to you, I think.
It's up to me.
So, okay, and not just you, the people out there that would like to help, and they can get in touch with you, and you guys can get this thing working.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Lowell Lo Design, 3Ls.com.
Awesome.
LowellLoDesign.com. And do you have an email or a phone number you want to share?
Yeah, LLO at Lowell Lo, LOWELLLO design.com.
And phone number? Do you want to do that?
Phone number?
You don't have to.
647-542-3678.
Send him a text.
Well, I don't know if that's a text.
Thanks.
Will you take text at that number?
Yes, sure.
Why not?
Okay, Lowell, did you get it? Is there anything else you
No,
want to
that's
say?
it. Thank you. Thank you.
He
I
was.
appreciate it.
I just
Great.
want to say that awesome
Thank you, Ivy.
designer,
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, this.
and there's a good incentive behind this: community, food, saving the planet,
And I feel-
saving
I feel-
money,
I feel-
helping
yeah.
people connect.
Yeah, I feel a little bit rebellious too. You know, like architects are always about design, high
Yeah.
design, and
Like
this
the
is
people
like
think real estate, they think money. Whereas you're
it's
doing
like
something
this is
different.
this is like
Something.
What are you saying, Lowell?
Something important. Something that matters on a community level.
well, no, just like like forget your high fashion, man. Grow food.
Damn straight.
Yeah, grow food, right? Because one day, if there's no food, you won't care too much about the high
Yeah.
fashion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when the blackout happens, if it happens again.
Okay, Lowell, thanks for
Okay.
coming in today.
Thank you.
Okay, and thanks, Ivy, for doing
Thank you.
this. Okay, that's it. I think we're done for the week here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you next starting Monday again here on thatchannel.com.